Well, not the car, that you walk into. Listen, no. Really? Oh. Yeah. Hello. Ada ni? Oh ni ya. Pada mana ni dah baru? Premis dah. Dari itu.
Landing. Pleasant good morning. We will now have the prayer by Pastor Anthony Evelyn of the Gospel Hall.
Greetings to all gathered. Let's bow our heads and hearts as we look to God in prayer this morning. Unto thee, O God, do we give thanks. Unto thee do we give thanks, for that thy name is near, thy wondrous works declared. Heavenly Father and O God, I come to thee in the Holy Spirit, through the Lord Jesus Christ, thy only beloved Son, in whom thou art well pleased, with thanksgivings and praise for thy love, thy grace, and thy mercy. We thank thee for awakening us this morning in the newness of life, in our right minds, conscious of our being and our surroundings. We thank thee for the safekeeping of our household and all in our respective neighborhoods. We thank thee for knowledge, for wisdom, and understanding. O Lord, God Almighty, I bring to thee the elected men and women of this honorable House of Assembly in their quest to serve the people of the Federation with distinction, with justice, and with fairness, putting country above self, seeking your guidance, O Lord, as servants of the people with love and compassion. I pray for the selected Speaker and the Deputy Speaker for this Assembly, that they will conduct the business of the Assembly in accordance with the principles, the rules, the orders, with fairness and justice to each other. I pray for guidance and respect for the elected and nominated member of this honorable assembly, that they will conduct themselves with prudence, giving due diligence to the rules, the regulations, and the order in accordance with the principles of the assembly. O Lord God of heaven and earth, I pray that the matters presented for discussion today will be for the benefit of the citizens and residents of the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis. With your blessings, these things I ask with humbleness of heart, with thanksgivings in our Savior's precious name. Amen. May all join me together in saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever. Amen.
Thank you very much, Pastor Evelyn. You may please be seated. The proclamation. St. Christopher and Nevis, Statutory Rules and Orders, number 27 of 2022. Proclamation dated the 17th day of October 2022, summoning and appointing a session of the National Assembly by the Governor General of St. Christopher and Nevis. A proclamation signed by Sir S.W. Tapley Seaton, Governor General. Whereas a general election of members of the National Assembly was held on the 5th day of August 2022, and writ therefore duly returned, and whereas it is provided by subsection 1 of section 46 of the Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis, that each session of the National Assembly shall be held at such place and shall commence at such time as the Governor General may by proclamation appoint. And whereas it is expedient that the National Assembly should be summoned and the time and place for the first sitting, therefore, duly appointed. Now, therefore, I, Sir Samuel Weymouth Tapley Seaton, Knight Grand Cross of the Most Distinguished Order of St. Michael and St. George, Commander of the Royal Victorian Order, King's Counsel, Justice of the Peace, Doctor of Laws, Governor General of St. Christopher and Nevis, in exercise of the powers in me vested herein before, recited, and all powers me thereunto enabling, do by this my proclamation summon the National Assembly and appoint Tuesday, the 25th day of October, 2022, at 10 o'clock in the forenoon at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort in the island of St. Christopher as the time and place at which the first sitting of the said assembly shall be held for the dispatch of public business. And all our officers and loving subjects in St. Christopher and Nevis, and all others whom it may concern, are hereby required to take due notice hereof and to give their ready obedience accordingly. Given under my hand and the public seal of St. Christopher and Nevis at Government House, Bastille, this 17th day of October 2022, in the first year of His Majesty's reign. God save the King. Election of the Speaker. Honorable members, I will now invite you to make nominations for the Speaker.
Madam Clerk, I would like to nominate Ms. Lanning Blanchett to be Speaker of the House for this session of Parliament.
Is there a seconder? Is there any other nominations?
Madam Clerk, I rise to beg that nomination cease.
All right. There being no further nominations, I shall put the question. The question is that Ms. Lanning Blanchett serve as the Speaker of the National Assembly for this session of Parliament. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. I now invite the proposer and the seconder to fetch the Speaker.
Who's your pick, guys? Who you think gonna win?
Yeah. Thank you.
I've seen the minister. Yeah.
Honor the Speaker.
Is this the Speaker?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. May be seated. May return to your seat. Okay. I now invite Ms. Lanning Blanchett to say the oath of affirmation.
I, Lanning Kishari Blanchett, do swear that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty, King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God.
Thank you. Yes, I do. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Please be seated. Next item, please.
Election of the Deputy Speaker. I now invite your honorable members to make nominees for the Deputy Speaker.
Madam Speaker, I rise and have the honor and pleasure to nominate for the position of Deputy Speaker the Honorable Latoya Bianca Jones.
Is there a seconder?
Madam Speaker, Madam Clerk, I rise to second nomination.
Are there any further nominations?
Madam Clerk, I rise to beg that nomination be ceased.
There be no further nominations, I will put the question. The question is that Ms. Latoya Bianca Jones serve as the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly for this session of Parliament. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. I now invite Ms. Latoya Bianca Jones
I, Latoya Bianca Jones, do swear that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law, so help me God.
Yes, I know. Yes, I know. Yes, I'm right here.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. We will now have the oath or affirmation of allegiance by other members of Parliament. I now invite Dr. Terence Michael Drew, Prime Minister, elected representative for St. Christopher 8.
I, Dr. Terence Michael Drew, do swear that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law, so help me God.
Signature.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. Next, we will have Dr. Jeffrey Ian Hanley, Deputy Prime Minister, elected representative for St. Christopher 1.
I, Jeffrey Ian Hanley, do swear that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law, so help me God.
Thank you very much, Deputy Prime Minister. We now invite Dr. Denzel Llewellyn Douglas, Senior Minister, elected representative for St. Christopher 6.
I, Denzel Llewellyn Douglas, do swear that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God.
Thank you very much, Dr. Douglas. I now call on Conwys Gregor Menton Maynard, Minister, elected representative for St. Christopher
3. I, Conwys Gregor Menton Maynard, do swear that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. I would like to invite Samal Moja Duggins, Minister, elected representative for St. Christopher
4. I, Samal Moja Duggins, do swear that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God.
Thank you very much. I would now like to invite Masha Tamika Henderson, Minister, elected representative for St. Christopher 2.
I, Masha Tamika Henderson, do affirm that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty, King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I now invite Garth Lucille Wilkins, Senator and Attorney General.
I, Garth Lucian Wilkin, do swear that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God.
Thank you. I now invite Dr. Joyelle Trizier Clark, Senator and Minister.
I, Dr. Joel Trezier Clark, do swear that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God.
Thank you very much. I now invite Iceline Felicity Kira Philip, Senator and Minister. I, Iceline Felicity Kira Philip, do swear that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God. Thank you very much, Senator. I now invite Mark Anthony Graham Brantley, elected representative for Nevis 9.
I, Mark Anthony Graham Brantley, do swear that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God.
Thank you very much. I invite Dr. Timothy Sylvester Harris, elected representative for St. Christopher 7.
Order.
I, Dr. Timothy Sylvester Harris, do swear that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law, so help me God.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Next, I invite Sean Kenneth Richards, elected representative for St. Christopher 5.
I, Sean Kenneth Richards, do swear that I would faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law, so help me God.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. I invite Eric Rohan Evelyn, elected representative for Nevis 10.
I, Eric Rohan Evelyn, do swear that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God.
Last but not least, I invite Alexis Allison Jeffers, elected representative for Nevis 11.
I, Alexis Allison Jeffers, do swear that I will faithfully bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Member. Announcements by the Speaker.
It is with profound humility that I wish to express grateful thanks for the high honor that the honorable members of this House have conferred upon me. I will, however, reserve my brief remarks for the adjournment item. It is the wish of Her Excellency the Governor General's Deputy to address this honorable House. I now suspend the sitting in order to meet Her Excellency the Governor General's Deputy. This House stands suspended.
Please be seated.
Your Excellency, the Governor General Deputy.
I will now invite Her Excellency, the Governor General's Deputy, to deliver the throne speech. Seated.
Honorable members of Parliament, members of the diplomatic and business community, citizens and residents, a pleasant good morning to you. Thank you. Permit me at the start to extend sincere condolences to the family and former co-workers of the late Calvin Edwards, who worked as our budget director for the better part of 35 years in the Ministry of Finance. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Today registers an epic moment in the history of our nation, and I am particularly honored to be part of this occasion that ushers in an era of new beginnings. The opening of this Parliament is convened at a time when the global leadership has been challenged to take a long and hard look at changing course to embrace and pursue that vision for action that brings hope to the world's people. This is a significant milestone that we celebrate today, since the people of St. Kitts and Nevis determined with no uncertainty that there is a better way forward with the newly elected St. Kitts Nevis Labour administration at the helm of government. I am pleased to present to the nation an overview of the socio-economic agenda of our government, which I am confident will substantially transform the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis over the next 5 years. Indeed, a new day has dawned here in the Federation, with our government's dynamic vision for developing this country into a model, sustainable island state. This vision is rooted in the long-standing, inspirational, tried, tested, and true motto of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, for the good that we can do. Successive Labour administrations have done well for this country, and your new Labour government pledges to deliver on its mandate to build a better St. Kitts and Nevis, working in the best interest and for the benefit of every citizen and resident. Our government is cognizant that our country is faced with a number of challenges at this time. Our team of energetic ministers and technicians is already hard at work to ensure that our country not only confronts these challenges, but also finds solutions and responds to them in a way that the interests of our people remain the central focus. Our government firmly believes that there are opportunities for our country to continue to develop. Despite the adversities and hardships of the past 2 years, our government believes that our country has the capacity to recover from the challenges brought on by the pandemic and, more recently, the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Since their resounding mandate at the polls, our government has been engaging citizens and residents of all walks of life, the business community, and civil society, and there's a consensus that there's a better pathway for building a resilient St. Kitts and Nevis. Our government is therefore prepared to seize the opportunities that are emerging to push forward in creating a thriving, resilient, and sustainable economy, thus moving St. Kitts and Nevis back to the position of #1 in the Caribbean. All of the government ministers, elected and appointed, fully understand and subscribe to a strong code of ethics and integrity. Our government is also determined to restore the principles of a strong democracy by upholding the rule of law as we chart a better way forward for our nation. Our government is equally cognizant of the seamlessness between safety and security and the implementation of all aspects of development. Safety and security must be given priority as a fundamental constitutional provision in protecting the rights of our citizens. It must equally serve as a prerequisite for creating the enabling environment for delivering on the successful outcome of the diverse initiatives that have been identified to advance the nation's development agenda. In light of this, our government will rethink the stereotypical conception of security in implementing effective ways in crime prevention and crime detection, using modern technology to strengthen the security apparatus in crime fighting and crime detection. We will undertake an audit of the capabilities of our present security forces and commit to exploring all available options of forging meaningful partnerships with regional and international agencies to improve the nation's security mechanism. Our government will build on the initial outreach with the security forces and will continue its engagement to address the issues that have undermined the morale, working conditions, and professionalism of the men and women whose service is vital to creating the enabling environment for effective delivery of our strategies to build back better in the post-pandemic era. Our government's human rights agenda is aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals that seek to reduce widening inequalities and promote economic growth and poverty eradication with a view towards attaining productive employment opportunities and decent work for our men and women folk. The new Labour government therefore invites all citizens and residents to take a look at our country's development prospects through the lens of a model sustainable island state. We would quickly realize that there is indeed a better way to achieve social cohesion and protection, economic transformation, and good governance. For the next 5 years, our government will focus on transforming our economy into one that is diversified and resilient. Our government will explore and seize the opportunities that are available from the development of the digital, green, blue, and orange economies. Emphasis will be placed on building a society with more equity, fostering love and harmony amongst all our people, and maintaining peace, justice, and liberty for all. For far too long, issues of inequality and inequity have been allowed to persist without adequately tackling the root causes of the imbalances in our society. A core element of the vision of this Labour government is to create a society with more equity and balance. We intend to make serious inroads into the reduction of poverty across the Federation. Education will be used to lift families from the clutches of poverty, and jobs will be created to provide meaningful employment for all persons desiring to work, particularly the youth, who at this time find it the most challenging to find decent work. The policies of our government will reflect the needs of the various groups that make up our society. No one will be left behind. Policies will be developed using different modalities to encourage strong citizen engagement and to build a culture of consultation with the people on all important issues of social and economic development here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We know that our people are not interested in handouts or charity. They want jobs and entrepreneurial opportunities that will allow them to live with dignity and pride. That is why we are strongly committed to the implementation of programs that will stimulate economic activity, facilitate the establishment and growth of business enterprises, and create jobs in abundance for our workers. Not just any job, but jobs with remuneration well above the new increased minimum wage that we intend to put in place after due consultation with our workers and employers. We will also intervene through appropriate policies and regulations to keep the cost of living within the reach of our people. An integral part of our vision of a model sustainable island state is diversity and equality, especially at the leadership level. Our government has already signaled by its appointments made since taking office its intention to position more young people and women at the leadership table. Our government is the youngest government in the history of our nation and has already created history of its own with 3 female ministers in the cabinet for the first time. and now today. With both the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker being women, we are, for the first time in our history, witnessing the most women ever in our Parliament. We say congratulations to our young people and our women and add, to whom much is given, much is expected. The new Labour government is committed to improving the lives and livelihoods of our citizenry by proactively putting in place mitigating measures that will assist in minimizing the hardships and obvious setbacks experienced by our people over the past 7 years. We are all saddened by the deaths that occurred here in the Federation during the pandemic. We believe that one life lost is one too many, as every life is precious. We offer sincere condolences to the many family members and friends who now must continue life without the companionship and support of their loved ones. We know that the pandemic affected many persons across the Federation in a negative way, severely impacting health, lifestyles, and livelihoods. That is why immediately upon taking office, our government set the wheels in motion to ease the heavy burden of some of our most vulnerable citizens and residents. Our government moved swiftly to make good on its promise to those workers who lost their jobs because they chose not to take the COVID-19 vaccine. A gratuitous payment has since been made to all such workers who registered their termination notice with the Labour Department. Further, a few days ago, our government delivered again on a promise to pay an honorarium as a show of appreciation and an acknowledgement of the sacrifices made by over 2,000 hard-working public servants who contributed to the national response to the dangerous threat of COVID-19 pandemic, even at the risk of losing their own lives. We fully recognize that no amount of money can fully compensate our hardworking and dedicated public officers, but this will go a long way in helping to repair the damage caused by the implementation of a poorly conceived policy, which showed tangible appreciation for the work of a select few. We believe that our transparent approach to this issue is a concrete example of a better way for determining government policy going forward. You will recall that in the recently held general elections, the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party ran on a platform of 7 pillars to stabilize the economy and improve the quality of life for our people. Our government will therefore craft its strategic plan to incorporate the elements of the 7 pillars and prioritize the design and implementation of policies and programs targeted at creating jobs, enhancing economic growth, promoting social protection, including better health care and education, improving access to water, protecting our environment, boosting food security, and promoting governance. Our government's vision for developing a model sustainable island state is premised on a partnership between the government and the people. It is therefore absolutely necessary for the public sector, private enterprise, big and small, and civil society to work together to achieve success. When this country exited the sugar industry in 2005, the Labour government at the time gave a firm commitment that it would pursue a path of economic diversification. We were well on the way towards making significant progress to broadening the economic base of our country right up to 2015, as history had taught us that it was not a good thing for the economic fortunes of our country to be overly dependent on one industry. After a 7-year disruption, our government is again committed to providing the necessary leadership to drive economic growth and development and deepen the diversification of the economic base of our country. Our Citizenship by Investment program has served us well over the years, and we will do everything that is necessary to protect it so that it can continue to yield positive results for our country. There are, however, certain reforms that we must implement in order for it to be strengthened and placed in a position to remain a significant industry in our economy. Since taking office, our Labour government has prioritized reform of the CBI program, and important administrative changes will be implemented in the coming weeks. While we are committed to working to strengthen the CBI program, we are steadfast in the belief that we must also advance an agenda for economic diversification. Our vision of a diversified economy incorporates the CBI program as one of the main pillars of development. This vision also incorporates the development of existing and emerging sectors that are showing potential for steady growth over the medium to long term. Notwithstanding the existing and emerging economic challenges of the day, our government is committed to the principles of prudent fiscal and debt management. We will collaborate with our international and regional partners, including the International Monetary Fund and the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, to develop and legislate fiscal rules to guide the implementation of government's fiscal policy over the next 5 years and beyond. We will employ strategies for strengthening public finances by improving tax administration and strengthening revenue collection. This would help to provide the fiscal space necessary to meet the demand for spending as we recover and simultaneously transform the economy in a sustainable way. Given the current realities on the ground, where our economy is struggling to rebound and many of our people still unemployed, the government is cognizant of the role it must play to stimulate economic activity. Our government will take concrete actions to make timely injections into the economy to boost growth. Our government will make the necessary investments to support the creation of jobs, sustain growth, and transform our economy over the short, medium, and long term. This means that the government spending will be strategic, calculated, and intentional. From the onset, we'll pursue programs that link our short-term recovery spending to the longer-term economic and social transformation. More specifically, we will focus on 1, providing support for micro, small, and medium enterprises which were affected by the pandemic, including those in the manufacturing and tourism sectors, to help them increase productivity and their capacity to create permanent jobs. 2, public sector investments in critical areas needed to upgrade basic public infrastructure and the delivery of better services. Special attention will be paid to those activities that can create employment and at the same time move our country closer to achieving our goal of building a sustainable island state. The areas selected for targeted investment include accelerating the pace of utilizing renewable energy, advancing the use of digital technologies, the agriculture sector, the tourism sector, the health sector, education sector, housing, and the blue, green, and orange economies. 3, improving our social protection system so that we can address inequality and inequity and move us towards a more cohesive and inclusive society where every citizen and resident can truly experience the enjoyment of human rights as our forefathers intended. Our government will work to safeguard fiscal sustainability by establishing a growth and resilience fund, which will help in the prudent management of the government's fiscal buffers. Our vision for a model sustainable island state dictates that government remains good and responsible fiscal discipline to enable it to adequately respond to external shocks and sustain critical investments necessary for the transformation of our country. Our new Labour government is proposing a better way for the expansion of our tourism sector, which continues to be one of the critical pillars of development here in the Federation. Over the recent past, our tourism industry has shown a lackluster performance, with no major gains in brand recognition or development of the tourism product. At this time, we want to reassure our citizens that our government is working assiduously to turn things around. We are determined to put our tourism sector back on track, to contribute more to our national development. Over the next 5 years, we will attract at least 2 new 5-star hotels, building on the foundation that has already been established with the Four Seasons Resort in Nevis and the Park Hyatt Resort in St. Kitts. Our government has put in place a team that will work hard to ensure that an increasing number of visitors will choose St. Kitts and Nevis as a preferred destination. Our government therefore intends to work with the Nevis Island administration to improve the marketing of our Twin Island Federation as the premier destination in the Caribbean. Our government's proposal for the expansion of the tourism plant holds great potential to assist in multiple ways to diversify the economy and achieve its development objectives. The addition of entertainment-related tourism will flow from robust and ongoing efforts to establish a federation as a global center for movie and music production and the creative arts in general. The construction of new hotels and other tourism-related infrastructure will provide employment opportunities and facilitate skills transfer in new construction techniques to our local tradesmen and tradeswomen. During the operating phase, opportunities will be created for permanent jobs requiring varying skill levels. As we saw in the past, with the build-out of the Four Seasons Resort in Nevis and the Marriott and Park Hyatt Resorts in St. Kitts, some of our citizens have been given opportunities to master their craft internationally. We will therefore pursue policies that encourage the promotion of our people working in the tourism industry. We want to see many more of our citizens being offered the opportunity to work regionally and internationally as top executives in their field of choice. Emphasis will also be placed on training our people to take up the opportunities for work in the industry as employees of the new enterprises that would come on stream, or as entrepreneurs managing and growing their own businesses. Our government will integrate the training offered at the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College and the Advanced Vocational Education Center with the needs of employers and the opportunities created in the tourism sector. This will ensure that graduating students of the CFBC and AVEC hospitality programs are fit and ready for immediate job postings. The CFBC and AVEC will be mandated to ensure that they prepare our students at a sufficiently high standard that will allow them to be functional immediately upon entering their chosen field of work in the tourism industry or any other areas in the world of work. Not surprisingly, our government, recognizing the importance of fully reopening the economy, announced to the world that we are open to do business with our international and regional visitors. It is obvious that the travel-related COVID-19 protocols were inadvisably kept in place, even when the science and professionals in the field indicated that such drastic measures were no longer warranted. In the first few days in office, our government sought a removal of these barriers that seriously hindered the recovery of the tourism sector and caused many of our establishments to suffer loss of business and many of our people to suffer the indignities of unemployment longer than was necessary. Hardly anything had been done to advance airlift in the last 7 years. In that regard, we are unrelenting in our efforts to expand airlift to the Federation by identifying additional carriers with which to form new partnerships to increase access to our beautiful Federation. This is another critical aspect of generating growth in the sector. We will also explore avenues for expanding our source markets and increasing our brand recognition in existing and new markets. Already, our government has launched a brand new campaign targeted at increasing visitors to our shores. Further, we will work to expand cruise tourism and strengthen the linkages between the tourism sector and other sectors, such as the agriculture sector and the orange economy. The ongoing supply chain challenges and disruptions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and current global conflicts, coupled with changing rainfall and drought patterns due to climate change, have the potential to adversely impact our very existence as a small island state. The reality is that currently we are a net importer of food, and this results in a very high level of food insecurity. We cannot bury our heads in the sand and accept the level of food insecurity that exists in our country today. Growing more food locally will reduce our high food import bill and generate more wealth among our farmers and fishers. The experiences of the past 2 years have underscored the urgent need for us to focus on building resilience, scaling up innovation, and increasing incorporation of technology in our efforts to produce more food. Food security is an important component of our vision to create a sustainable island state. Our government is therefore fully committed to putting our fertile land to good use in the production of food for our people. We will make significant investments in the agriculture sector, including expanding crop production, agro-processing, and exploiting the potential for the development of our blue economy. We will provide better access to essential inputs and expand the range of support given to farmers and fishers. This will help to ensure that we boost production and employment, especially for young people. Our support to the agriculture sector will see the expansion of the feeder roads network, improved access to water for irrigation, and the establishment of an appropriate mechanism to assist farmers in the marketing, distribution, and sale of produce. We can do more to take advantage of the vast potential of the blue economy. You can count on your Labour government to do this. We will explore opportunities to expand our fisheries subsector in order to take it to the next level of performance, where we can make fish more affordable for our families, while at the same time creating more opportunities for producing fish products for export. This will make a tremendous difference in improving the nutritional content of our diet at the national level and move us closer to food security. In fact, work has already been initiated in this area within less than 2 months of taking office. Our government is actively engaged in negotiations with a potential investor for the establishment of a major fisheries plant in St. Kitts and is looking at some possible sites around the island to locate this plant. We expect that the new fisheries plant will provide a number of direct jobs with the potential for spin-offs to support hundreds of indirect jobs. In tandem with this development, a fishing complex will be established in Deep Bay to serve the fisher folks of Deep Bay and the surrounding communities. Our government will always put the interests of our people first and ensure that our people are the beneficiaries of the policies and programs initiated by the state. Recognizing the opportunities squandered in the recent past, we will move with urgency to the development of a vibrant cannabis industry, an industry that holds so much potential for diversification within the agriculture and manufacturing sectors. Our government is therefore signaling to the nation and to the world that we will move forward expeditiously to strengthen the legal framework and institutional arrangements necessary to facilitate the growth of the cannabis industry for medicinal, therapeutic, and scientific purposes. We are equally committed to establishing the enabling environment to support a thriving cannabis industry with active participation of ordinary Kittitians and Nevisians in all areas of the industry. In order to grow the industry and establish international linkages, it may be necessary to attract external expertise and foreign direct investment. It will, however, be mandated that foreign investment in the industry must have substantial local participation and partnership. Equally important, we will also move to expunge the records of persons with a criminal record due to minor cannabis offenses. This will empower some of our people who have local knowledge and expertise in the cultivation of the varieties of cannabis that are already grown here, thus adding to the overall vibrancy of the industry. Over the last few years, we have seen a decline in activity within the manufacturing sector and a significant reduction in the number of persons employed by manufacturing enterprises. Since March 2019, we have witnessed the closure of 3 factories, with a 4th to close this coming November. At least 400 persons, mainly women, would have lost their jobs in the process. The sector is therefore in desperate need of an updated strategy to chart the way forward for attracting new investments. Our government, through the Senkit's Investment Promotion Agency, will be aggressively pursuing opportunities to attract investments in modern technologies, such as renewable energy. We will seek to establish at least 1 factory in the Federation to build solar panels and related accessories that will provide low-cost energy-saving options for homeowners and businesses. This activity is also linked with the potential for export to regional and international markets, thereby preserving the sector's ability to earn foreign exchange, which is necessary for maintaining monetary stability within our Eastern Caribbean currency union. Our government will pay special attention to boosting the construction sector, which over the years has played a stabilizing and expansionary role in the economy. This sector has the ability to create jobs, while at the same time stimulate a far-reaching multiplier effect in other sectors of the economy. Our government is committed to investing in the construction sector. We encourage the commercial banking sector and other financial institutions to join us in this effort at stimulating growth and empowering our citizens. We know that many citizens have homes that need upgrading or dream of owning their own homes, but to date are unable to afford it. Shortly, we'll be rolling out our Rebuild and Refresh Home Refurbishing and Construction Initiative, where all citizens can benefit from duty concessions on building materials for their homes. This means that people who would like to build or renovate could benefit in terms of support for housing construction projects, valuing up to $500,000. Our government intends to develop several thriving housing communities throughout St. Kitts and Nevis to help upcoming middle-income earners who would not qualify for a low-income home, but who cannot yet afford to buy or build a home in the private real estate market. The main target groups of this program would be recent university graduates and young business owners who are ready to build a home. The land designated for these special projects will be sold at a discounted rate of the existing market price, and options will be given for individuals to choose from a select set of building plans. This will contribute to the development of a thriving community of young professionals who would be encouraged to live and work in the Federation. It is important that the incessant brain drain that we often experience is minimized, and that the talent and skills of our young people are retained in the Federation to help build and secure the future of our country. These initiatives, coupled with the rollout of the National Housing Corporation's housing program and the government's planned investment in basic infrastructure, will no doubt ensure that the construction sector will again flourish and create numerous jobs in the economy to the direct benefit of skilled and unskilled workers. Just imagine what a relief this can bring to so many persons who are currently unsure where the next paycheck would come from. For far too long, they have been living in despair, but our new Labour government brings a message of hope over the next 5 years. Our government cares and will find the right mix of policies and programs to empower our people so that they can have a better way to provide for themselves and their families and truly determine their own destiny. Our government is truly excited by the great prospects for us to work with our many creatives to build up a vibrant orange economy in St. Kitts and Nevis. We are committed to providing better options to build up this emerging sector where our people can establish small and medium-sized businesses to create employment for themselves and others. We know that our people are talented and creative, and we are prepared to put these strengths to work for the collective good of our country. We will work assiduously to ensure that the sector is recognized as an important avenue for developing alternative careers and building up wealth. Fundamental to our thrust to develop the creative industries will be the construction of a National Performing Arts Center and Academy. This will constitute a multi-purpose facility that will provide a dedicated space for honing the talents of our young people, hosting of events and staging of shows, which will give young people a platform to showcase their talent, provide valuable exposure, and most importantly, a means to make a decent living. Further, our government will establish clear policies to support creatives in the development of their businesses. This will include the implementation of startup accelerator programs that will focus on stimulating the creative industries and providing young people with seed investment, connections, mentorship, and educational components necessary for success. Sports will also be an important focus in the build-out of our orange economy. Our government, recognizing the importance of sports and exercise to a fit and healthy nation, and realizes the enormous socioeconomic benefits to be derived from a healthy population. We must therefore encourage, and where necessary, implement policies to promote greater participation in sports in our schools. We must also assist sports associations in strengthening their administrative and governance framework and address the renovation and maintenance of sporting facilities. Our government believes that there is a better way for assisting our young people to develop their athletic skills and help them to develop to the point where more of them can successfully compete on the world stage. In this regard, we'll create a sports academy with an elite athletics training program, which will recruit, develop, and train the top athletes in the Federation to perform at a high standard to be able to participate in professional sports at an international level. Our government will develop partnerships with recruiters from top sports universities and scouting programs to bolster our position in the sports world. There are great opportunities to create lucrative careers for exceptional athletes across the various sporting disciplines, including tennis, netball, volleyball, football, basketball, cricket, and athletics. Moreover, our government understands the dire need for the sportsmen and women who represent St. Kitts and Nevis at a national level to be provided with adequate health insurance coverage. In our pursuit of a better way, we commit to exploring possible insurance options to facilitate the provision of adequate medical insurance packages for national sports representatives. This will help to ensure that they have adequate health care in the event of unpredictable illness or injury that may befall them as a direct result of playing sports. It is important for people to understand that this new government firmly believes that there is a better way for us to build social cohesion and ensure the protection of the most vulnerable members of our society. This is a critical aspect of our thrust to achieve success in building a sustainable island state, as our vision speaks to no woman, man, or child being left behind. Our energies would be spent on ensuring that all groups within our society are empowered to achieve their individual goals in life. Our social and economic policies will touch the lives of our youth, or elderly, or differently abled citizens, and those who are at risk of engaging in antisocial behaviors. Our new government was meticulous in the development of the new ministerial portfolios in which the subject of youth, elderly, and disability were explicitly included. Investments in these areas will be focused on activities that will be beneficial to our people and provide the necessary protection for those who are not in a position to fend for themselves. We will pay close attention to rationalizing our social protection programs and reprioritizing them to support our people who need these interventions the most. Our government will enhance the Poverty Alleviation Program, PAP, to serve as a social safety net to truly empower the most vulnerable and improve their standard of living, thereby eradicating indigence and significantly reducing poverty across development, the most suitable government institution to oversee the social safety net system. We are also well advanced with the rollout of the re-registration process. This has become necessary as there is ample evidence that no credible standards were used during the initial registration process to determine eligibility of beneficiaries for the program. Citizens and residents enrolled in the PAP will therefore be reassessed based on need. We also strongly believe that there should be a process to wean persons off the program. In this regard, our government will introduce special programs to assist recipients to improve their lot so that they can graduate out of the program and create space for others needing the support. This approach will ensure the success, sustainability, and longevity of the PAP and other important social safety net programs. When we look at the Alternative Lifestyle Pathway Program, better known as the PEACE Program, and the way it has operated since its introduction, our government believes that most citizens would agree that there is a better way for empowering our at-risk young men and women. Our government will improve the PEACE program by making skills training an integral component for the participation of each beneficiary. Young men and women enrolled in the PEACE initiative would be given the opportunity to learn a marketable skill and will be provided with support to either acquire gainful employment or opportunities to start their own businesses. Participants in this program will also have a pathway for development and graduation. It is envisaged that the program's graduates would become more positive and productive citizens and contribute to the overall development of the Federation. Our government is sensitive to the issues affecting the often overlooked vulnerable groups in society, in particular, women and children. We understand that gaps exist in the provision of services for the protection of women and children. We have therefore initiated action to make amendments to the relevant pieces of legislation that are intended to help to limit domestic abuse. Additionally, training will be provided for police officers and other persons who interact with families that are experiencing relational problems. The services at the Special Victims Unit will also be upgraded to provide better detection of and response to domestic violence. Our government is committed to ensuring that special victims can see the dawn of a new day and experience a better way of life. We intend to create a special victims center, which will serve as a safe space for transitioning victims of domestic and sexual abuse and troubled youth who are not criminal offenders. Health lies at the very foundation of the development agenda of our government, for we care for you. Without a doubt, we are aware of the many challenges that our citizens and residents continue to experience with the quality of health care that is presently provided throughout our health system. The public outcry on the unacceptable state of affairs in health care in general, and particularly at the main hospital, will no longer fall on deaf ears. our Labour government is listening and has an excellent plan for providing good, affordable, and accessible healthcare services for our people. We are committed to ensuring that the JNF General Hospital is transformed into a state-of-the-art health facility. Our people will benefit from top-level care, including greater access to modern services right here in the Federation. We will seek to improve and expand services in specialized areas such as oncology and dialysis treatment. We will scale up the number of skilled professionals working in our healthcare system and invest in training and recruitment of more specialist doctors and nurses. We will provide support to our citizens who show interest in studying to qualify as registered nurses and nurse practitioners. Our government will ensure that the number of doctors specializing in critical areas is increased. We'll provide incentives for persons training in medicine to specialize in areas that are presently lacking in the Federation, including nurse practitioners. The capacity of the healthcare system needs to be improved, and we are confident that our approach would yield much better results and a modern and more efficient health system. Our government believes that after contributing a lifetime of service to the development of our nation, our elderly citizens must be allowed to age with dignity in an environment free from abuse, whether in the home or institutions. Our Labour government is committed to improving the care that is provided to our elderly citizens. This will be pursued through the development of a framework and standards for the delivery of geriatric services, including the requirement that care workers in this sector possess an elderly care certificate from the CFBC or similar qualifications. We will improve conditions at the Cardin home and support the establishment of additional facilities for elderly care. Particular emphasis will be placed on the establishment of daycare facilities where our elderly persons who have contributed so much to our society can go and have meaningful, stimulating engagement that would assist them as they transition into retirement. There's also a better way for providing care for our mentally challenged citizens. We consider the facilities for our mentally challenged and other differently abled persons to be lacking. We are therefore committed to ensuring that persons who are mentally challenged are treated with dignity and respect, and that the level of care provided allows opportunity for reintegration back into society. Further, efforts will be made to create opportunities for the full integration of our differently abled citizens in the workplace and other aspects of life in our society. A new day has dawned for our education system. Fundamentally, our government views education as a human right and a vital imperative for achieving our goal of developing a sustainable island state. It took a Labour government to provide universal access to primary and secondary education. And after more than 50 years since the introduction of the comprehensive system, it is time to revolutionize the sector. Over the next 5 years, we are determined to reform and modernize our education system to make it more relevant to current realities in the job market, more practical and efficient. Our government will increase the use of technology in schools, including the relaunching of the one-to-one laptop program. Our reformed and remodeled education system would therefore prepare our people for the new opportunities in the new economy in technology-related areas such as coding, design, digital marketing, and e-commerce. Our team of ministers have already demonstrated their determination to empower the young people of this country and improve the education sector with the reintroduction of free tertiary education for our youths attending the CFBC. Our plans for the sector include easing access to higher education via scholarships and other financial support from institutions like the Development Bank. Greater emphasis will be placed on science, technology, engineering, the arts, mathematics, and technical and vocational education. The performance of our young people in the recently held international robotic event is highly commendable and clearly indicates that every dollar spent on education is a dollar well spent. Our government understands that education is a prerequisite for building our human capital and, by extension, a sustainable island state. What we do not understand is the travesty that occurred with respect to the Bastia High School at the expense of thousands of our young people who have been deprived of a wholesome school environment over the last 7 years. Our Labour government will not play games with the future of our children. In short order, we will start to build a brand new Bastia High School on its original historical site. We will also embark on a comprehensive plan for the upgrade of the physical infrastructure of all public schools and introduce proper plans for the maintenance of schools across the Federation. Our government constantly hears the cries of the young men and women who take the bold steps to embark on tertiary level education to better themselves and to make their contribution to the building of their nation, but who are often stuck with a burdensome student loan. There is a better way to assist our young people to pursue higher education. Our government has already moved forward to provide free tuition to all students attending CFBC. This new policy offers great financial relief to many families throughout the Federation and enables our students to concentrate on their studies rather than worrying about the ability of their families to pay the required tuition fees. We will also be exploring the possibilities of the CFBC becoming a full university. In that way, more of our citizens and residents can obtain first degrees right here in the Federation without the huge costs involved. Our government understands the importance and the value of education. Therefore, we will incentivize responsible student borrowers who have demonstrated at least 2 years of commitment paying their student loans. The development of young people is critical to nation building, ensuring the prosperity of our Federation, and fostering the conditions that will allow us to achieve our goal of becoming a model sustainable island state. Our national agenda will ensure that young people pursuing studies in areas of national priority will be given assistance towards tuition and fees. Our government intends to facilitate the education and training of specialist teachers who will provide specialized training for children in common learning differences such as dyslexia, speech-language pathology, and occupational therapy. This will be done in tandem with our goal to identify a suitable location for a standalone center for special education and autism spectrum services. Our children with special needs will finally get the dedicated resources, care, and attention that they truly deserve. One of the biggest challenges we face as a nation is climate change. Our Labour government is determined to demonstrate strong leadership in this area, as our survival on these two islands is under threat. This is our home, and we must do all that we can to protect it for our sustenance today and for future generations of Kitishans and Nevisians. We commit to enhancing the policy framework for our country's adaptation to climate change. We will work with our people, other small island states in the region and beyond, and bilateral, regional, and international partners to strengthen our resilience to environmental and climate change by tailoring more robust risk mitigating responses and improving access to climate financing. We now have a better institutional arrangement for advancing our climate change agenda with the establishment of a new portfolio for environment and climate action. We will ensure that environmental and climate change considerations are mainstreamed in development planning. Beyond what has already been established, our Labour government will focus on preserving our environment because it is central to our objective of creating a sustainable island state. Success on this front means that we will find success in building a green economy with new green jobs, better access to clean, potable water, clean and renewable energy, and a better standard of living for all of our people. We invite the private sector to partner with the government to move forward with our vision for the development of a green economy. There are opportunities for development of recycling plants, the manufacturing of solar panels, investment in alternative energy sources, and arresting the growing problem of water shortages. Our government is committed to fixing the water problems with the expansion of water wells through a dedicated drilling program. To reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, we will work with the Nevis Island Administration in collaboration with the Caribbean Development Bank and other partners to capitalize on the opportunity to develop geothermal energy for the benefit of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. This is an important project which can be a catalyst in our endeavor to create a sustainable, reliable energy sector, bringing us closer to being a net zero emission country. Further, we will introduce policies to further incentivize the use of alternative energy, including the installation of solar panels in homes and businesses, and pave the way for the introduction of electronic vehicles as a viable means of transport within the Federation. Finally, our government fully recognizing that transparency, accountability, and good governance are critical to maintaining public trust and confidence. We will actively seek opportunities to strengthen and build bonds of trust with the citizenry, and to be responsive to the needs and aspirations of the people. We expect you to hold us accountable, and we will hold others to account. Our people can be assured that the Labour government is committed to eliminating corruption within the public sector. Our government is therefore prepared to take decisive action to tackle the outstanding issues related to integrity in public life, enhancing the state apparatus for anti-corruption, strengthening the Public Accounts Committee, enhancing the public procurement regime, and addressing the issues related to the freedom of information. To this end, our government has initiated the necessary steps for the full activation of the Integrity in Public Life Act and the work of the Integrity Commission. In addition, your government will complete the comprehensive revision of the Procurement and Contract Administration Act and develop the required procurement regulations to complement the Act. The modernization and strengthening of the procurement regime is intended to promote greater levels of transparency and accountability in the procurement process and to ensure that government and government-owned entities receive value for money. To build the better country that we envision, it is of utmost importance that we have the right framework to ensure that our democracy is strengthened to uphold the principles of equality, transparency, accountability, political tolerance, control of the abuse of power, human rights, and the rule of law. We intend to activate the Electoral Boundaries Commission to review and revise our present electoral boundaries, which can help to pave the way for the much-needed electoral reform. We wish for voters to have the utmost confidence in our electoral system. Our government will embark on a consultative process to achieve the long-awaited constitutional, electoral, and legislative reforms. Our government is a government for all of the citizens and residents of the Federation, whether they reside on the island of St. Kitts, the island of Nevis, or in the diaspora. We believe that there's a better way for our people to live in harmony and for our people to reap the benefits of the policies and programs initiated by the state. in collaboration with the NIA and the other relevant partners, our government intends to dedicate the necessary resources to ensure that the long outstanding issues that threaten the sustainability of our small island state are resolved. A new day has truly dawned in our federation as we are set to initiate a better way to address many of the issues that have been left unresolved for a very long time and have stymied the prospects for building a prosperous and progressive, sustainable island state. Our country has made significant strides over the last 39 years of our independence, as reflected by the strong bonds of friendship and the high level of development we have achieved as a small, independent nation. As we stand on the threshold of our 40th year of independence, we must acknowledge the collective contributions of those who laid the foundation on which we continue to build, and make our commitment to play our part in ensuring that generations to come will benefit from our vision and our stewardship. God bless our beloved St. Kitts and Nevis, a country where peace abounds. Thank you.
This House is suspended. All stand. This House is resumed. Please be seated.
Adjournment.
Honorable members of this National Assembly, I would have indicated earlier that I will reserve my brief remarks for the adjournment item. Here follows. It is incumbent upon me to give brief remarks at this auspicious occasion. Permit me firstly to recognize the members of the Diplomatic Corps, the High Command, Justice Ian Morley, QC, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Without Christ, we can do nothing. Therefore, I must thank him for orchestrating today's events and for giving me life, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Further, I wish to reiterate my gratitude to the honorable members of Parliament for electing me to the position of Speaker of this honorable House. It does not escape me for a moment the enormous responsibility that you have bestowed upon me. I wish to thank my family for their consistent support in every facet of my life, today being no different. You have been a constant source of support, and I am eternally grateful. To my dear friends, former co-workers, colleagues, thank you for your support and reassurance. I wish to make special mention of former Speaker of this Honorable House, the Honorable Curtis Martin. To thank him for his learned guidance and for answering his phone whenever I called for advice and/or clarification. I must note that Mr. Martin has the faith and patience of Job as described in the Bible. As I can assure you, I called him a number of times and he always answered. I must thank the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, whom have expressed their best wishes for this my new role. Yesterday, news of my possible election to the position of Speaker of this Honorable House became public. My phone has not stopped ringing since. I am humbled and deeply appreciative of the overwhelming support. I wish to extend heartiest congratulations to all members of the National Assembly and a special welcome to the members who are serving for the first time. Honorable members, a positively glaring feature of the current makeup of this Honorable House is the increased number of female parliamentarians. Gender equality is a topical issue in the world at large, and I am delighted to see the progress that we as a country have made in this regard. When we empower women as leaders and decision makers, the community and the economy benefit. Having female leaders in positions of influence allow them to serve as role models, which is not only critical to the career advancement of women, but stands to generate broader societal impacts on pay equity, changing workplace policies in ways that benefit both men and women, and attracting a more diverse workforce. May we continue to ensure that women have a seat at the table. Importantly, members of this Honorable House, and as cliché as it may be, to whom much is given, much is expected. As parliamentarians, we each have very important roles in this Honorable House to execute. To this end, I look forward to the said roles being discharged in a dignified and respectful manner. As I conclude, I wish to thank the organizers who did a phenomenal job in preparing the space for the opening of Parliament. Everything came together seamlessly and beautifully. Finally, to the members of this honorable House, as well as the citizens of our beloved Federation, please be assured, I intend to be firm. I intend to be fair. I intend to be impartial, honest, and respectful at all times and to everyone. Thank you, and God bless us all. The question is that this honorable House stands adjourned, sine die. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? I think the ayes have it. This House stands adjourned, sine die.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming to the opening of the new session of Parliament.